Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here one more time, and it may be the last time. Don't know, but for sure, I am here now. And I think I'll call this presentation The Devil Speaks. You know, we all have to understand that there's a power that's superior to all human beings on the face of the earth, because even this earth that we live on came from a power superior to we human beings that are here. And it's been, I understand, a long time. But the power that is responsible for all of these new wonderful things, I call it the universal power. Sometimes I refer to it as God. Well, it's amazing how God has given some people the ability, the knowledge, the skills to create AI. Now, what is AI for? AI is for doing some of the things that we do, but to do it in a different kind of way. I mean, they can do it quick. You call up AI. AI, what time is it here? You don't look. AI, remind me of this. They'll do it. AI, what does this mean? Anyway, to make a long story short, AI appears to have been able to go back all over the history that seems to be recorded that it has had access to, and it cycles through that information and supposedly comes back and give you a great, satisfactory analysis of questions that you're asking, the information that you're seeking. So to that degree, you can say AI is wonderful. And AI has been telling us some things that, wow, I'm sure none of us would have ever known if we didn't have that access to AI. I've used AI on several occasions, not to write my stories or to tell my story, but just maybe to answer a question like what time it is, or could you let me know when 5 minutes are up. What I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this. There are two kinds of people in the world: people that perpetuate evil, you might want to call them devilish people, and people who perpetuate wonderfulness, altruism, heavenliness. Let's use that word, it's a better word. And they are as different as night and day. Now, as spokesman and advocate of basic human rights, I have told you that my mission was to be able to tell you those kinds of things that have been designed for you human beings who live on this earth in these bodies, do it these times and times before and times to come, as it has been given to me. And it has been a presentation of that which I have tried to connect with heavenliness. But I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the things that I'm going to tell you is to be the truth. And if I'm going to tell you the truth, I think I should, before I talk about you, I should talk about myself. I want you to know that even though I call myself connected to God, a servant of God, I want you to know that I am the most, well, evil person that I can know of. I don't think there's too much evil that I have not engaged myself in. One thing I have not engaged myself in is I haven't killed anybody. I haven't taken a life. I have been put in a position that if grace or something superior to me hadn't stopped me, I would have been guilty of that. But everything else that you think that you possibly have done that you are ashamed of and you can consider evil, I have experienced it as well. So I'm not coming to you as a goody two shoe. I'm coming to you as one who is as dirty and as filthy as you are. And because I'm as dirty and filthy as you are, I have no problem coming to you, sharing with you what we together are. And we are pathetic. We are sickness to the power that made us. When I say that there are two kinds of people in the world, what kind of people are you? Think about it. What kind of people are you? The devil engages in things that are evil, engages in stuff that cause pain and suffering, corruption, lying and cheating and stealing, terror, war. And these are just a few of the things that I mentioned to you because we all living during these times and we are familiar that these things do happen. Yes, and one way or another, we have all played our role in it. Not only played, we have and are playing the role in it each and every day. I've been hearing AI come back and tell us that for 400 and some years, well, 400 years at least, that God has punished black people, certain black people from the black population, and that these have been scattered all over the earth. And for 400 years, we've gone through the worst kind of treatment from one another, from human beings, not just black people, but black people included, human beings at large. We have been evil to one another because all of these things that represents evil have happened to us and we have engaged in it. And it's something that I believe would make you sick if you could recognize it and understood it. And I'm sure the power that made us did not make us to be this way and hope that we would not be this way. So I'm sure that power is kind of sick as well. However, with that power, it gave us the ability to choose which side of the road we want to be on. Do we want to be of the evilness or do we want to be on that which is not? Well, many of us will say that we want to be on the side that is not, but it doesn't matter. Our action speaks louder than our words. Now, for those 400 years that we black people, certain black people or people, have been going through the trials and tribulations and evilness and pain and suffering that we've gone through, we deserved it. Somewhere it would have said that that power, that universal power, looked down on us and wanted to free us from the abuse that we were going through and freed us. Gave a call, gave somebody to make us aware that the power existed and called us to separate ourselves from the evilness and to go into a promised land, pulling ourselves from the authors, the ones who had the power to maintain evil, to make sure that it continuously exists. And they say we went and crossed a Red Sea, a sea, my friends, that supposedly opened up so we could walk through on dry land. Can you believe that? Well, they say it happened. And being on the other side, where we were supposedly going to a promised land, we were fed what do you call them? Stuff from the sky. Manna, you know what I'm talking about. Manna. Anyway, when we call ourselves separating ourselves from that which was our oppressors, others came with us too. But not only did others come with us, even though we were experiencing oppression every day, that is what we learned. We learned oppression. We didn't want it. We wanted to rip it off us like dirty clothes, but it was us nonetheless. And being separated from those who were the oppressors and given the opportunity to do our thing now, since we were being delivered, we ended up being just like that which we came from. We were just as corrupt as well, we weren't as corrupt as the oppressors there because they were the ones that were forcing it on us. And we thought we were so much better, and given that opportunity, we prove it. But what did we prove? That we were just like them. And that's what's happening in the world today. Now, that is being said that these 400 years of oppression that we've gone through, now we are going to be set free. It's going to take some time. We're going to go through some stuff. But it is said that those who have been oppressing the the ones who have been set aside, that we're going to receive I guess you can get the best way to put it is put in the position that we don't have to accept the oppressor. We don't have to, but we will be given the power, the authority to express ourselves. Now, having gone through this, how are we going to respond? We black people. How are we going to respond? Well, as I listen to some of the AI and how they are presenting it, it appears as if they are expecting us to pay back the oppressors that were ours by perhaps doing some of the same things to them that they did to us. At least they think that if we ever get free, this is what we are going to do. And that is something that we really can't argue about. Now, when you look at what's going on, people are suffering. I mean, everywhere, all over the globe, people are suffering. And one of the reasons that I'm saying this to you is because it is clear to me. It is clear to me that what I'm saying to you is absolutely true. I might have thought it was true before. I might have known it was true before, but it wasn't true enough for me to say, I want to separate myself from it. Oh, well, I probably said I wanted to separate myself from it, but not to the extent that I separated myself from it. Somehow, some way, I was still connected to it. But I've learned some things, ladies and gentlemen, that gives me pleasure in saying these things to you, because whether you listen or not, that universal power didn't teach me what I know for my benefit only. It is for whomever is receptive to it. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that this other power, this heavenly power, this divine power, this God power is not being expressed, not on earth, not between human beings. It's not being expressed at all. We are demonic, and that is because that's all we know. We have people talking about God who knows nothing about God, but what they read, and it means nothing. We have people talking about love, have no idea what love is, just what we were taught in words and taught in what we have seen. But it has not been pleasing to the master, and the evidence is that this stuff continues to exist. You see, and I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'm going to try to see if I can shorten it a little bit. For those who are on the heavenly side, they understand, and I would like to be included in that number today, is that to represent God, the power that represents heaven, is that we would understand that the earth does not belong to us. The earth is a place that we've been given to live on. And all of the resources that we have used to do the things that have ever been done, the things that we're doing, and perhaps those things of the future, they are resources that are free. They are not resources from mankind. They are free from the power that made us to utilize, to do the things. And what are those things? Those things that we as people have determined are absolutely essential and necessary for us to be satisfied in life. Those are the resources. And when I say satisfied in life, what am I talking about? I'm talking about making sure that our needs, our wants, and our desires are met. Who's ours? Ours is every human being on the face of the earth, American and anywhere else, black, white, anywhere else, whatever you are. That power made it possible for that to happen. But is it happening? No, it's not happening. Why? Well, it can't happen if we're doing the other things. If we're doing that evil stuff, if we're representing what some people call the devil, that's what's happening. And we don't know it. We think that we're doing really good. But what are we doing? We actually putting up with one another, uh, just existing, waiting for some miracle to happen, and believing the lie that we love, believing the lie that we care. But all of the pain, all of the suffering represents the fact that we are not. We who say we know God, who have a connection with God, would understand that those things that we have determined, first of all, those kinds of things that are essential for survival, like food and clothing and shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, infrastructure, all of those things designed for the magnificence that we as human beings who are following the power of the living God can experience in life. Are we doing that? No. Now, some people might say, well, I got a nice city. We're not running from people. But let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing that is unique to God. If we were applying ourselves in the proper way, we as human beings would live in peace. We would be prosperous and we would be free, not in bondage. We would be happy. We would be joyous. We would be fulfilled. We would be satisfied, and we would live our dreams. That's the fact. These are the receipts that you're connected to the proper power. Now, where is that happening? Well, some people may say, "I experienced that." Well, and don't jump ahead, because see, there's something else that is required. If you are connected with God to the degree that you recognize that these things are essential, that these things are important, that these things are the receipt of all those who know God and live by God's way. If we know that, we would understand that there is no peace, there's no prosperity, there's no freedom, there's no joy for any of us if some one of us is in bondage. If some one of us are suffering, there can be no peace to those who know the truth. So we got a mission to do. Not only did we change or have we changed, but we got a responsibility to make sure that in the darkness, the light comes and those that are in bondage still can experience what we have come to experience, what we have come to know. That is required. So if we got people, I don't care how successful we think we are, if there are people that are suffering anywhere, we are just as filthy as we've always been. To know better and allow stuff like that to happen is a receipt that we do not know better. We're lying to ourselves. We've been tricked. We've been deceived. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the way of the world. All over the earth, this is what is happening. So what happens when you learn better and want to do better? Well, now they say, I'm not going to stake my life on it, but it is said that God sent someone down here to live in the midst of all of the stuff that we have to go through and have gone through and still going through, that we could understand, that we could see what it represents. That was Jesus. And out of that, people try to create something called a religion called Christianity that is supposed to be representative of Jesus' way of thinking, Jesus' way of acting, and Jesus' way of living. Well, what happened? Having come through here, like we are, engaging himself in life like we do every day, but in a different kind of way, not honoring the way of the world, not bowing down to those who would oppress, but representing the power that says you are free and nothing can bind you. Gave him the ability to heal folks, which was a sign. Gave him the ability to walk on water, which was a sign. And to make a long story short, again, what did it get him? It got him the cross. Now, were there people here talking about God? Yes. What did they think about Jesus? Hang him. The government who was abusing people, what did it say? Hang him. And what did he say to the world? If this is the world that you're living in, the way out is to stand up and do that which is right and let God lead you. And God led him to the cross. And he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And no man's going to get to the Father. No man's going to understand unless you come this way. But what did they tell you? They say, believe. Believe in God. Believe that he was the son. Believe that he was killed. Believe that he was buried. Believe that he rose from the dead. Believe that he's alive and gone to heaven. And he's our judge, not our judge. He's our lawyer. He's in heaven lawyering for us, telling God, forgive them. They don't know any better. Because that's what the book said that he said in his one of his last prayers. God forgive them, for they know not. Father forgive them, for they know not what they do. But he says, I am the way. Now, what was the message? That's the true message. What message did I get? Or what message do I would like to deliver to you? Well, if you change your way, then you would actually be like that. You would want to experience as that which I described as being heavenly. That's what you would want. I say that because that's what I want. And you would not want to put up with all of the ugly stuff that's going on. Why? Because he exposed it for what it is and share with people what it takes to make the move out of that. But the ultimate message was to be free. It's like being married. If you love one another, I guess, you might stay together and what? And embrace one another and help one another and do things for one another, I guess. But if something happens and that love breaks, then you don't really care about one another. One another doesn't mean anything. It's just another brother, another sister. And that is what we as human beings have on our minds, and that's what we have on our hearts, because this is the way we act throughout our lives. But a person who is truly awake, a person that is, and you know they got something in America to talk about. They get upset if you say you woke. They want you to stay messed up. But I'm speaking to those who are here in America. We have seen evil at its worst because we have gone through so much right here. We've gone through the pain, all of us, and we still going through it. We've not been free from it. And now we got people in government, people who have position of power that we have allowed to continue to exist because we don't have the freedom, we don't have the understanding, we are not connected with the force of life that teaches us the way. And so we sit back and accept this stuff. You know, to sit up and see a president lie to you, a person who's supposed to be in the highest seat of power in your country, just abuse you. And then other people in power who you think was put there to protect you from this kind of stuff, who goes right along with it. And you sit there wondering, what's going on? How can this happen? I know better than this. They got to know better. How can? And they do. Well, this is the world we're living in. What I have found, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Is all of this killing, ICE bringing into neighborhoods. See, evil's not going to want to do right and don't want you to know what right is. So they'll lie to you about everything. They're out here now. I probably didn't know before. They will rewrite history to keep you confused. Well, you know the story better than I do. And so they do all of these things, and you find yourself not waking up. You going to this thinking that you got it going on. You don't have anything going on because the problems continue to exist, not just for you, but for everybody. And you have no solutions. So you just feel that you'll just fall in and you won't participate. You'll just watch because there's going to be a savior that's going to come and relieve you from this when that power on that cross says, if you want to be saved, this is the way. Reject it. Stand up for what's right. And they will free you from this hell. Yes, they will. To put it bluntly, they will kill you. But a person that's free, a person that's born again, who have a renewed mind, who sees the world for what it is, they will have faith that there's something better. And the best thing that could happen to you in this world, if it's the way it is to go on that cross. And I'm not talking about committing suicide. I'm talking about standing up for what right is. And they put you on that cross and you accept it. You accept it as a blessing. You accept it as a gift. You accept it as Valentine's Day. You accept it as a birthday, a Christmas, all of the wonderful things that it could be because you reject this hell. I ain't trying to condemn anybody. I can't condemn a soul. I'm telling you about yourself. And I'm telling you about yourself because yourself is me. I've lied, cheated, stolen, and as I said, done basically everything except taking a life. And I would have done that if I wasn't blessed. So your faith must say, I'm not going to be a part of this. And before I be forced to do it, I'll go to the cross. Now, how many people are saying that? How many people are saying I go to the cross? People are running from their hometown, they're running from their nations, running across waters, doing anything, scraping up, selling their bodies, doing drugs, anything, trying to escape, thinking that there's something better someplace else. There's nothing better any place else. It's just a little bit different. And if it might, the things that you're running from probably have already existed where you're going. And it might have kind of cleaned itself out a little bit. But if you don't change the thing, you can bet your life is coming back again. So the only thing you can do is be real. Be real. Now, for me, I am going to do everything I possibly can to be real. What am I saying? I'm saying that I'm going to tell you the truth as it has been given to me. I'm not going to try to make black people wake up. They say that if you've done it 400 years, now is your time to have power in your hand. But if you're thinking about doing to white people the same thing they did to you, if you're thinking about oppressing as you have been oppressed, you haven't learned a darn thing. And if you continue to exist, if the flood didn't wipe you out or fire take you out, you're going to repeat it all over again. So, but that choice is yours. For me, the only thing that I can learn in this life, and this is what I have learned in this life, is that it is hell. And it is my choice. I'm making the choice to not to continue to live in this hell. I'm ready to get out of here. And I don't care if I have a heart attack and leave here, or somebody gets pissed off with me and blow my brains out. To get out of here is right on time. But I'd rather get out of here by telling you the truth and making that evil that abusing you. Like it do to me what you did to Gandhi. Say Gandhi got to go. Do to me what you did to Martin Luther King. Say King got to go. Or what Malcolm say, you got to go. Say that about Eddie Marcus. Say we can't stand him. He's messing up our game. And think I'm gonna get upset? No, baby, I'm gonna smile. Because freedom is wonderful. Freedom is absolutely magnificent. And the truth of it is, I'm going to die anyway. You all are going to die anyway. But the thing that's uniquely fantastic is to know the truth and choose how you die. Choose to die with what's the word? What's the word? With some happiness. Me, myself, one of the greatest curses that I could have living in this hell is to get older. I'm old now. I'm a senior. You know that. But the thing that would get me the most is to continue to live, to continue to hang on in this hell, like it's gonna get better. And then I end up being sick, end up need help, need somebody to care for me in our old age because I can't care for myself. Oh Lord, don't let that happen to me. Please don't let that happen to me. I give my life up in a heartbeat to avoid that kind of stuff. So this is one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you, ladies and gentlemen, because I do not want to go out that way. But I want you to know that these churches and people who are telling you about God, I want to tell you this. People who are telling you about God are faking it. They live in this hell every day and they are doing nothing to change it. That going to church and what? Look at the people over there in Israel. I hear now that they are not really Israelites. They're just some fake people came out there to play the fake game. Look what they're doing, murdering people, the Palestinian people. And the Palestinian people, I can't allow you to get off the hook because if you were on the right path, you wouldn't be trying to fight to kill. You wouldn't be trying to do those things that would bring you together, make you stand strong, knowing the difference between the killing and start living. Try to make your dreams come true, but not just your dream, but everybody's dream. Everybody's dream. Because that is something that God directs. President doesn't direct that. Prime minister doesn't do that. Your king, your queen doesn't do that unless they are led by that same spirit that I'm sharing with you. So I am saying that on this day, I'm going to cut this short. I've been talking for about a few minutes now. I want you to know that you're living in hell. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how many yachts you got. I don't care how many women you got. I don't care how many men you got. I don't care how much gold you got. You are living in pure hell. And if you don't watch out, if you don't change and you got this, well, yeah, you got it. Well, you don't have to change, but you are blessed if you do change. If you do change, you can smile knowing and hoping that you are qualified to stand up and represent righteousness in such a way that you can say, I am the way because I followed the way. And this is the way because it's taken me to freedom. So I can look back at the world and say, I'm sorry. Yep, I played your game. I played your game. And I was put in a position to suffer, but I'm not going to, out of my suffering, I'm not going to let it make me angry. I'm not going to make it want to get back at you, try to do to you what you did to me, that you know what it was like. No, I want to tell you the truth. I was wrong. And I don't want to have anything to do with it. And before I do this to you, I'm ready to leave. Yes, I'm ready to leave. So, America and human beings all over the world, I want you to know that the devil speaks. And that devil that speaks is me. I got the receipts. I know hell. I've lived in hell. And now I'm telling hell, go to hell. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so very much for giving me this, your time. And I really hope that this has some benefit. And if I'm not killed or die right away, I will be coming back each and every time I get led by the Spirit to share with you what it shares with me. Because I know God loves me. That is the only power that I could ever say that loves me. That is the power that took care of me from the time I came into this earth and even loved me through the hell that I've been living in. And it's not turning its back on me now. God. And the only thing that you can count on, if you know it, is God. Because people don't mean to mess over you, but they just do not know better. Okay? Until next time, if there is, Eddie Marcus saying, for now, goodbye.